Welcome to Operation Fishing Freedom. Today it's our privilege to be fishing with retired U.S. Army Green Beret, Jason Van Camp.
Duty, honor, sacrifice. Every military veteran has a story to tell. Join pro anglers Jay Garstecki and Ben Olsen as they honor the stories of true American heroes on a fishing boat. The mission today is Operation Fishing Freedom. Brought to you by Great Clips.
The pristine pine-filled mountains of Utah. Surrounding nearly 3,000 acres of water, known as the Pineview Reservoir.
How you doing?
Good, man. How you doing?
Good.
Excited to be here.
We got a beautiful mountain day.
A tranquil setting to meet a Green Beret named Jason Van Camp.
So did you fish when you were young?
I think that's what my dad liked to do to bond,
Yeah.
you know, so usually we're just drowning worms, man. We weren't really catching a whole lot. Growing up in the Northern Virginia area, you grew up with such intense patriotism and love of the country, love of the flag. I wanted to be a part of that. I wanted to serve. I wanted to do more. I wanted to give back. And I found that when I joined the military and the Special Forces with the Green Berets. In high school, in my history class, my teacher, he just kind of asked the students, what are you guys gonna do when you graduate? And one by one, he went around the classroom and every single person in the classroom was like, oh, I'm going to Ohio State, I'm gonna study mechanical engineering. I was like, blew my mind. I was like, how do you know that's what you're gonna do with your life? I really had to take a step back and look at my life and say, who do I wanna become? What do I wanna do with my life? For the first time, I started thinking, wow, I could go to college, play football, you know, like this could be, I could get a scholarship. And the two schools that were just coming after me super hard, relentless, were Navy and Army. It came time to make a decision, you know, and I was like, okay, I'm coming to West Point.
West Point, the United States Military Academy, the School of the Army, and for Jason, Division I football.
First game of the season at West Point, there were like 30,000, 35,000 people there. You know, so it was an interesting experience to kind of feel that energy and hear the cheering and the shouting.
Crowds that could reach upwards of 70,000 fans for none other than the coveted Army-Navy game.
Army-Navy game is a spiritual experience. It's a rivalry like none other.
Go Army, beat Navy! Go Navy, beat Army!
It's not a rivalry built out of hatred. It's a rivalry built out of respect and brotherhood.
A brotherhood that would follow Jason beyond football.
There are a lot of lessons learned in sports, playing football for me specifically, that I was able to apply to combat. It's about being a part of a team, a tribe, a community, having each other's backs, you know, and you know the guy to your left and to your right is gonna do their job, you know, and they're gonna have your back, and they're gonna keep you alive, and by God, you know, you have to do the same for them.
Operation Fishing Freedom is brought to you by Great Clips, Recon Boats, and by Yount's Valor Foundation.
Operation Fishing Freedom Foundation is a nonprofit dedicated to documenting the lives of our military veterans.
And your donations allow us to provide education and treatment to our veterans.
Log on to our website, operationfishingfreedom.com, and click on the donate button.
Once I got into the Army, I said, I'm gonna give this a real shot. I'm gonna see if I like it. And I loved it.
Rangers lead the way.
Jason powered his way through Ranger School, completed his first tour in Iraq, and was still preparing for his next chapter.
The Army, you graduate from basic, you become an infantry guy or whatever. It's sort of like graduating from high school. Becoming a Ranger is like going to college, and becoming a Green Beret is sort of like getting your master's degree. Green Beret training for me was about 2.5 years.
2.5 years of intense physical and psychological training through 6 stages, including the Green Beret's iconic final portion known as Robin Sage.
They hire citizens of economically distressed towns in North Carolina, and the entire town role plays in this mock scenario where they're in a fictitious country called Pineland, and you're inserted surreptitiously, and you have to do a lot of things, but it's essentially inspire the locals to rebel and rise up against the dictatorship in Pineland.
The trainees here spend weeks conducting operations through 15 North Carolina counties, facing real-world scenarios to free the oppressed people of Pineland.
And it finally culminates in this mission where the mission goes bad intentionally, and you're on the run, and you got people there trying to catch you. You and your team are just running through the woods, through the swamps, trying to evade capture, and eventually you get caught by the bad guys, you get thrown in a prisoner of war camp, and you're there without food or water essentially for 4 or 5 days, where they beat you and they throw you around, and then they do a soft sell where they sit you down and they try to outsmart you, and they try to get you to say something that you shouldn't have said. And then finally, there's like some commotion and everyone's in formation, and then all of a sudden they're like, stop what you're doing, about face. And the flag of Pineland, without you really seeing it or knowing it, has been replaced with the American flag. And then they start playing the Star Spangled Banner. And that's pretty emotional, pretty cool, because it basically means like, hey, you graduated, like you're a Green Beret now. You know, you did it, you passed, you know, sort of thing. So it was pretty cool.
Now, as a fresh new Green Beret, Jason returned to Iraq.
Operation Fishing Freedom is brought to you by Great Clips, Power Pole, and by St. Croix Rods.
Nice smallmouth bass. Maybe they finally woke up the skinny guy, but he put up a fight.
If you'd like to see more behind-the-scenes footage and bonus content,
Follow us on social media, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're a U.S. military veteran living in Illinois, Wisconsin, or Minnesota,
log on to takeeventfishing.org to find an event near you.
Produced in association with the Yance Valor Foundation.
You can pattern predator fish by how they strategically set up on a spot. So if you look at this as a battlefield and pick those strategic places you'd set up, that's probably where a predator fish would be. Does that make sense?
It does, it makes a lot of sense. Oh yeah, man, the spider, it's a good one. Yeah, good one.
That's a real nice one. All right, target species, target acquired.
Target acquired.
In 2007, as a recent Green Beret graduate, Jason deployed to Iraq for a second time.
Things changed quite a bit from deployment to deployment. When we first went over there was really at the beginning no threat of a roadside bomb or an IED, at least where we were, and that quickly changed. When I went back the second time, that was a huge, huge threat. First day in country, I went out with my guys, some of my guys, to find a place to live. I found an Iraqi army base. So we were gonna live with the Iraqi army. We were gonna train them.
Okay.
And then we were gonna go on missions with them. And that's what we were gonna do. Was planning on going back out to that area again the next day. And so we loaded up our 3 Humvees. I was in the front passenger seat of the first Humvee. That's typically where I sat. And we left. And so we leave the base, and I get a call on the radio, and it's my new boss, my Charlie Company commander. And he said, "Hey Jason, I'm flying into your location later this afternoon. I need to talk to you about your new area of operations." And he's like, "So I need you to turn around and go back to base." And I said, "Okay." So I turned the vehicle convoy around, went back to base, and they left. And I remember going back into the Tactical Operations Center, and I hear a lot of commotion. So I hear troops in contact, troops in contact, troops in contact over the radio. I talked to the guy, I was like, "Hey, who's in contact?" "It's your guys." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, your guys are in contact right now." I'm like, "They literally just left the base. Like, it can't be my guys." He's like, "No, it's your guys. They're in contact." So we threw our stuff back on, we got in some vehicles, and we got out there as fast as we could. The enemy, we found out later, was Al-Qaeda, you know, and they had placed a bomb inside of a culvert under a road. Zach, who was in the front seat, who had replaced me, he put his arms out to brace himself, and both of his arms were completely broken, completely folded over. Scott, who was in the turret, badly concussed, broke his back. The driver in the front seat, who was an SF guy on a different team, he lost his leg, and the interpreter in the back, he died. So we got everybody on a bird. We got them out of there. So this was like day 2, and I only had a 12-man team, and I'd already lost like 2 of my top guys on day 2. I was reporting back to my commander, and I was like telling him all this stuff, and then after it was all reported, I was like, "Hey sir, are you still planning on coming in?" He's like, "What are you talking about?" I didn't say that. I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, I have no plans on meeting you today. I'm not coming down there. I never had any plans to come down there." I was like, "Sir, like, you told me to turn around. That's why I turned around. That's why I went back to base." He's like, "That wasn't me, Jason." Turned the hand mic off, and I was just like, what the hell just happened then? You know, like, who was on the radio? Who said that? Who told me to turn around? You know, why did that happen? Because I didn't imagine it, you know what I mean? And so it's been something in my mind that I've thought about a lot over the past, 13 years. Like, why did that happen? How did that happen? And it's just been interesting, and I attribute it to a spiritual experience. I have no other explanation.
Warrior Rising is a nonprofit organization dedicated to empowering military veterans to achieve success in business through partnerships, mentoring, and economic assistance. Go to their website for more information.
If you'd like to personally thank a veteran that you saw in one of our episodes,
or nominate a veteran to be featured on a future episode,
log on to our website, operationfishingfreedom.com.
Operation Fishing Freedom is brought to you by SKB Cases, Thorne Brothers, and by Temple Bay Lodge.
The whole experience of being in combat, it's going to change you. And some people take those experiences and they and that fuel, and they use it to burn themselves down. And some people take those experiences and that fuel to propel them to do great things. That second deployment I was on, I only had a 12-man team. And of those 12 guys, 4 guys got Purple Hearts and 1 guy died. We weren't just over there on a base the whole time. We were at the tip of the spear. We were fighting. We were firing our weapons. We were in combat.
Jason has faced many life-altering moments, none more impactful than the loss of a fellow soldier.
We were assaulting a building. We were just, a couple hundred feet away. So you hear eagles down, eagles down, eagles down. That means that guys on your team have been shot. And my team sergeant was one of the guys who was shot through his legs. And then Rob was hurt. And Chris was like, he was hit in the head. And so I pulled off his helmet, his Kevlar helmet, and blood just started pouring out. That was pretty impactful for me. I've never seen that before. And ultimately, Rob expired on the helicopter on the way to get treated. He was 29 years old at the time, and I thought to myself, like his service, his memory, and not just Rob, but others that gave their lives for freedom, for our country, they're not going to be forgotten. I'm going to live my life moving forward in such a way that I can honor those guys, I can give back, I can serve other people, I can help other people, especially veterans. I saw that there were a lot of guys in need, and they were asking the same question, now what? Now what am I going to do with my life?
A question many veterans ask themselves after service, including Jason. He has found a new way to serve his country, helping other veterans find their purpose.
The nonprofit that I created, Warrior Rising, right here, helps veterans help themselves by starting or accelerating their own businesses. And we've been around for 5 years now. We've raised millions of dollars since our inception. Last year alone, we helped 1,016 veterans start their own businesses. And the Special Forces motto is, in Latin, de oppresso liber, and that's translated to free the oppressed. That's what I'm trying to do now, is I'm trying to free people from their internal oppression, from those negative thoughts, from those suicidal ideations, from those, hey, what should I do with my life? I can't contribute, I'm not valuable. Well, you are. This is, in our opinion, the best way to help veterans. You help them help themselves, and we're doing that through business ownership.
Jason has made his impact in many ways, as a teammate, a leader, an entrepreneur, an author, a founder of a nonprofit, and of course, most importantly, a husband and father.
I love my family. My wife is a sweetheart. She's a godsend. She's a miracle worker. And I've got 2 kids. I've got Claire Jane, my daughter. She's 3 years old. And my son, Jack, he's 1. I was talking to my daughter, Claire Jane, told her I was coming out here. I was going fishing. And she asked me about fishing. And I said, do you want to come with me? And she said, yes, I do. We must go faster. So hold this like that. And when you feel the fish, pull them into the boat. Okay?
He's amazing. He's such a great dad. He is so much fun. Like, the kids know when they see him, like, they're gonna have a good time.
Oh, what's that? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Claire, look, you got it. Claire, look what you did. It's your first fish. Claire, look. You wanna touch it? You want to see him go? Here, just help him slide out. Oh, there he goes.
Good job, Claire.
He go back.
Yeah, he goes back.
You know what, Claire? Since you shared your dad with us, Claire, I got a few gifts for your dad. In appreciation of your service and sacrifice.
Dude, I love this. You kidding me? The flag right here, all the branches, my name on it.
And
oh, dude, look at this.
Jason Van Camp, Operation Fishing Freedom jersey. Thank you so much for coming out today and for all you do
I appreciate
to help
it.
veterans.
Thank you, Jason, for not only your service as a Green Beret, but for continuing to serve our veteran community each and every day.
If you'd like to personally thank a veteran that you saw in one of our episodes,
or nominate a veteran to be featured on a future episode,
log on to our website, OperationFishingFreedom.com.